The motivation behind this study was to provide guidelines for developers who create virtual reality applications, specifically applications in which it is important for virtual characters to convey empathetic responses in interpersonal social simulations. Our experiment was conducted using a between subjects design with 3 separate conditions, namely realistic, cartoon-like, and sketch-like rendering.
For the realistic condition, skin textures were applied to the character. These textures change over time to represent the appearance of patient deterioration. Also, image-based lighting was implemented into the simulation. Finally, the model geometry has been modified and new lip sync animations were created.
Cartoon, or cel-shaded condition, we used Unity's basic outline toon shader, which gives the character a uniform outline and simplified 2-color shading. The textures were flat colors and did not have details like skin wrinkles and change in skin tone. For the sketch condition, a custom shader was built to mimic a hand-drawn look using a cross-hatching technique to provide tonal range and volume definition. An immersive virtual environment demonstrated a virtual hospital room with a patient who is deteriorating over time. This environment was presented on a 60-inch screen with a life-size virtual character. The task of the participant was to interact with the patient over 4 different time steps and report their observations. The interactions include routine nursing procedures like checking temperature, blood pressure, and heart rate. The participant can also ask the virtual character questions from a predefined set by clicking on them. Questions are available for 7 different categories and are based on questions a nurse would typically ask.
Yes, having to use that bottle there. They giving me these fluids because they say I'm not drinking enough. That Tylenol you gave me did not seem to help. I didn't get much sleep. It's hard to breathe lying down.
The interactions are reported in the Electronic Health Record System, or the EHR. It consists of fields to fill out values of all the medical information which can be gathered during the simulation. To begin the experiment, an electrodermal activity sensor is fastened to the non-dominant wrist of the participants. Then the user fills out the demographics survey. Thereafter, the participant is given training on how to use the environment and perform all the interactions. Once the participant feels confident about the tasks, the experiment simulation is started and the experimenter steps out of the room. Once the user has completed all the interactions for the first time step, the experimenter comes in and asks the participant to fill out a questionnaire, which includes the differential emotion survey and a positive and negative affect survey. The same procedure is repeated at the end of each time step. The following video sequence highlights the user's experience associated with the 4 different time steps of a nurse's simulated surveillance experience, during which the virtual patient Bob medically deteriorates from time step 1 to time step 4.
And hold it.
At the end of the experiment, the participant was asked to complete a co-presence questionnaire as well as a subjective questionnaire about their impressions and reactions to the virtual patient. For all the exciting details of the results of our study, please see our paper as it thoroughly documents the various effects we found on users' emotional responses as a consequence of realistic versus non-realistic appearances of the virtual patient during the user's interaction with this immersive medical simulation.